Good morning.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Hey YouTubers, welcome to another Yukon Bob video coming to you from the island nation of Antigua in the Caribbean Sea. What a trip it's been so far today to get here. I left the biggest snowstorm of the year in Toronto coming down here. We had about 1.5 feet of snow this morning in Toronto on our way here, but we have made it 5 hours later and we are at 26 degrees Celsius in Antigua. And there was so much snow this morning that the cab actually got stuck in my court. I had to go and help dig the cab out. We got to the airport, had a 2-hour flight delay, but we are now finally here. And we're going to spend the next week in Antigua sailing around the island nation on a 70-foot flagship catamaran. So stick with us. We're going to have a lot of fun over the next week. This is the kind of line I like to see at Customs and Immigration. It's nice and short. Everybody's drinking.
No, one boat left.
Hey guys! How you doing?
Okay, we're hurrying up.
Sorry, we're not on a 60-foot this week. We're on the 70. We're not fooling around with a 60. Flagship or nothing. Chop, chop, chop. Have you drank all the booze?
Yes, of course.
Have fun. Have a great
All right,
week.
thanks, buddy.
In a journey.
Oh, it was a hell of a day.
Oh, geez.
Hell of a day.
Well, now you're gonna relax.
Now we're gonna relax.
That's an order.
So we've only just got on board the boat. We've had a glass of champagne. This, by the way, is our first time on a flagship Tradewinds boat. The flagship boat is about 10 feet longer than the luxury class boats. It's a 70-foot compared to a 60-foot. And the other difference is there's a crew of 3 on board a flagship compared to a luxury boat. So you have a captain, a first mate, and then another person who I'm going to find out what exactly they do over the next little while. But we just got on board and we're about to head out. We're going to pull the ropes and we're going to get out of here. What they often do on these trips in the islands is they'll have 1 or 2 boats that'll follow each other around the whole trip. So we're going to circumnavigate this island over the next week, and we're likely to see that boat again along the route. They've got a real party scene going on at the restaurants here tonight in Jolly Harbor. That, by the way, over there, it's a little bit dark now, but that's an old sort of it was an abandoned casino. It was supposed to be a casino, and it never made it, and it's been sort of derelict ever since. It's a beautiful building, but nothing's ever been done with it in the 5 or 6 years that I've been coming down here. Oh, you got to do that one more time. Oh, it's pressure now.
Like this, bro.
See, that's a conch shell. And often you can make this really neat sound with it, but not everybody can do it. Takes a little practice to get that down. Just before the room gets all messed up, let me give you a little tour of what the cabin looks like on this 70-foot catamaran. I think this is the master suite. This is the big suite aboard the boat. This has got so much room. We're not used to having this much room. Usually you kind of walk in the door and you're right on top of the bed, but look at this. We've got so much room in here. There's a big bureau cabinet in here for all your clothes. There's a writing desk down here, window through there, and then the bathroom in this is absolutely huge. This is probably the biggest bathroom we've ever had. Look at the size of that shower, that separate shower there. Double basins, that is a first, I think. The head down there, which is a vacuum flush head, and then the size of this room is just enormous. I'm really impressed with this. So thank you, Tradewinds, for giving us one of the nice rooms, the nicest room I think on the boat this trip. So this is absolutely fantastic, beautiful. Nice way to come aboard and be welcomed on the 70-foot flagship catamaran is to get this kind of room. It's absolutely beautiful. It's been a while since I have pulled out on one of these boats in this much darkness. Usually you're out of here at 5 o'clock. It's now 20 to 7, so it's quite a bit later than normal and a lot darker. You know what's odd is that flybridge is not covered. Usually on these bigger boats you have a covered flybridge, but not on this one apparently. So what they normally do on these trips is they basically just pull, you know, 1-2 kilometers outside of the harbor, get off the dock, and then they'll go out and drop anchor, and that's where we're going to spend the first night. Not that far out, so if you're late getting here or you kind of miss connections or something, you can always be run out by Zodiac to the boat. It's not going to be that far away on that first night. And I think we got a full moon. Very close. It's actually kind of nice pulling out at night. A little bit different.
Hey world!
You're part of my YouTube world.
Oh, fantastic. We'll have some great videos this week. Stick with us, I'll make you famous.
I like this guy already. He's not camera shy one bit. Perfect. Well, good morning, everyone. It is the first morning on the boat. Got the first cup of coffee going this morning. A little bit of a breeze. I think somebody said it's about 72 degrees out here this morning, so nice start to the first day in Antigua on the boat. Breakfast is being prepared. We usually have breakfast about 8 o'clock in the morning, and about half an hour from now we'll have breakfast. So we are just not very far from where we left last night. We went about 1 kilometer out and dropped anchor, had dinner last night, and we'll be having breakfast here this morning and then get things underway and get our game plan for the day. So we shall see what's in store for us today. But first, cup of coffee.
We are starting over here in Jolly Harbour. We're going to put up the sails and we're going to go out here and have some fun. Sailing all the way around here, going past 5 islands, up here towards Little Deep Bay, which is right over there. The name is very misleading. It is not deep at all. It is actually very shallow. It's one straight forward, straight to the beach. So we're going to get as close to the beach as possible. But before that, there's a lovely little wreck down here called Wreck Andes that we have the opportunity of snorkeling and diving.
Swim over to her, descend. The visibility looks quite good today, much better than it has been recently. But yeah, we're going to swim over to the wreck regardless, so we're in sight of it when we descend. The bow is pointing into the beach, so we're going to swim there all the way around the stern.
This is the first time we've ever had music accompanying the flag raising. But we do have 3 flags this time, so it's a special occasion. So this is on a boat called the Galley. And this is Serena's domain here.
Yeah, this is my kingdom.
This is her kingdom right here. Lots of hours spent right in here, right?
Yeah.
So you got a big double fridge, you got a dishwasher, 5-burner stove, microwave, 4-burner stove, microwave oven. You're fully equipped.
Yes.
Nice.
I got my KitchenAid, which is one of my best friends.
Yeah.
My toaster, my espresso machine, which is my lover. And yeah, that's it. All sorted. Who needs anything else?
I always thought that the best thing in the kitchen was the dishwashing machine because, boy, we go through a lot of dishes on this boat.
Yeah, but the boys wash them, so
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
My espresso machine is my best friend.
Everybody's got their priorities, and it's the espresso machine here.
Yes.
This, by the way, is the bar over in this area here. It's sort of the breakfast coffee station in the morning, and then it also doubles as the bar. And since we've had our dive for the day, that means we can now drink cocktails. And I think I just might have something. Let me see what we can pick here. Well, it's just the end of day 1 aboard the TW flagship 70-footer. We're just pulling into a bay. This is called Dickinson Bay. There's a Sandals restaurant or a Sandals resort just on shore over here. Stayed there a little while ago. Here's the other Tradewinds boats. They're all here now. One over there, one over there. So they're all together for the night. This is where we're going to spend the night tonight, the first night. Anchor's going down. Get a shot of that for you. It's kind of a nice light tonight too. The sky is quite bright, even though the sun has now dipped below the horizon. And I think for dinner tonight, it's a special treat. I think there's an entire filet mignon being prepared for dinner tonight. Not bad, you got quite a bit of light there.
Yeah.
You can see what you're doing now.
Quite well.
Yeah. We are having
These conditions I've cooked it.
We are having filet mignon for dinner tonight. Look at that. Beautiful.
So for today's plan, we are starting off right over here by Dickinson Bay. We are going to set both sails up and we're going to have a nice 2-hour sail tacking back and forth over here, all the way up through Prickly Pear over there, and then finally down here to a little island called Maiden Island. This is where we are going to spend the entire day.
On the flagship boats, the little bigger boats with Tradewinds, they seem to have a few more toys, so it's really kind of double. There's a paddleboard there, and then there's a kayak over there. Then on the other side, the same thing. There's a paddleboard and then another kayak. So most of the luxury boats just have a kayak and a paddleboard. Here you get double, and then of course there's all the inflatable water toys that they'll throw out back behind the boat, and there's a thing that they can tow you behind the dinghy that they blow up, and you can ride this thing and it'll tow you around with the dinghy. So that's all going to happen a little later on today. Tuesday morning aboard the Tradewinds flagship catamaran, and we are still parked at Maiden Island. This is where we came into yesterday and spent kind of the whole day here. It was kind of a water day. They put all the toys in the water and we just kind of swam around, did some snorkeling, no diving yesterday, and we're gonna have breakfast here shortly. It is really calm this morning. This would be beautiful. I just got up this morning and said, wow, I wish I had the Sea-Doo out here this morning, because the water is very still, and it would be perfect for bombing around on a Sea-Doo out here today, but that's not going to happen because we don't have one of those. But I have seen some around. What you do see down here is mostly Yamahas. Lots of Yamahas in the Caribbean. I've seen very few Sea-Doos down here. I did see one in Belize last year, but they seem to be all Yamahas, and I think that's because it's easier to service down in this area and get parts and stuff like that. But it would be great to have one here today to just go whipping around. So got my first cup of coffee this morning. It's a nice still morning. Breakfast in about 40 minutes from now, and then we'll figure out what our plan is going to be for the rest of the day. So what's the idea here? Is it to put the boat up over top of the anchor to make it easier to pull off? Is that it?
Exactly that. You don't want to put the strain on the windlass itself because this boat's too heavy.
Yep.
So you wear out a windlass pretty fast. So as long as you keep the boat on top of the chain, you can drag it up nicely.
So Richard's giving you directions where you need to position the boat?
Exactly.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
I think on some boats you can operate the anchor from the captain's helm station or down below here with the remote control. This one is just a remote control up on the bow. This little rail, handheld rail that they have along the side of the boat is a perfect place, as you can see, to store your flippers, your masts, all that stuff just sort of tucks right in there nicely. It's out of the way. It's a perfect place to put all your snorkel dive gear. Because we're not going all that far, we haven't pulled the dinghy up and attached it underneath the back of the boat. We're just pulling it behind us here. So it's just attached to the side of the boat because we're not moving all that far and it's not all that rough out either. So these catamarans draw about 1.4 meters of water. So you can get fairly close in. You don't have to worry about the depth all that much. Of course you do, but 1.4 meters allows you to get in pretty close. I think we'll give the drone a second shot here to see if it'll start and fly. We were too close to the airport yesterday. We're a little further away from the airport. Not sure what's going to happen. We'll have to just try to fire it up and see if it will allow me to fly it in this location. Captain's cocktail tonight is a rum punch.
Some lovely nachos.
Whoa. The last ding-dong load, or I mean dinghy load. Well, this is 3 Trade Winds boats, all culminating on one beach, Green Island, in Antigua. As the sun goes down, the fire's been lit. We've got a cruising class, a luxury boat, and we have a flagship, all parked out here in the bay. And just having some nice cocktails, captain's cocktails, and some snacks right on the beach. Well, just up on deck, having my first cup of coffee. Midweek now, Wednesday morning. And it's nice and calm again today. We're in a little bay here beside Green Island. We were in here at about, 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Had a nice little swim, went over to the beach over there on that far end over there. The Sargassus this morning is covering the entire beach line. It was not there yesterday, but today it's moved in, and all along the coastline where we were yesterday, it's just full of the Sargassus, the seaweed type stuff all along the coast. So weird how things can just sort of change overnight while you're sleeping. We're going to have breakfast. There is a dive on tap for later on this afternoon. I think it's over towards Nelson's Harbor. And today being midweek Wednesday, this is the day they kind of get everybody off the boat in the evening. We all go ashore and have dinner at a restaurant. Tonight gives them an opportunity to change all the linen on the boat, clean up the boat. Also gives our chef, Serena, a night off tonight. She doesn't have to cook a dinner for us tonight, so she gets a bit of a break tonight. Beautiful dinner last night. We had tenderloin which had been marinated in a honey mustard sauce for a couple of days, or at least one day, and it was just the best tenderloin I have ever had. It was so good. She did a great job on that, so fantastic work last night for dinner. And midweek, this is where I find on a trade winds boat, things start to speed up a lot more. The first 3-4 days seems to go kind of slow, and then when you hit Wednesday, boom. Next thing you know, it's Saturday and you're off the boat. So breakfast coming up shortly, and then we will find out what's in store for the rest of the day.
Gonna come out of here and then go all the way across past all of this terrible places because they're not good enough to stop at. And then we're gonna come into Falmouth Harbour. We're gonna anchor right here by a lovely beach over there. It has a little beach bar at the front if you're interested. Otherwise, the divers are gonna go have a diving spot right at the point of the entrance of Falmouth. Absolutely beautiful dive, and it is snorkelable as well, so I can take anyone who wants to go and snorkel over there.
Nice roll. Now there's a fantastic view of Nelson Harbor and Falmouth Harbor on the other side. So it's the last breakfast. No, actually there's one more breakfast on Saturday morning before we depart, but it's the Friday morning last breakfast with a hot meal. And we ordered croissants for this breakfast. We ordered them from shore. There's a bakery on shore, and you can make an order. So we placed the order yesterday. Get chocolate croissants, almond croissants, or plain ones. So they arrived this morning by dinghy, and that's what they look like. So this is where the real precision comes in, when you have to back a 70-foot catamaran in between two docks. Not a lot of clearance on each side. You got to back it up, and then you got to make a bit of a turn to get it into its slip. So it's pretty tight coming back in here. Two engines on these things though, so you can work one against the other, and you can steer just by using just the engines.
Well, that's going to do it, guys, for another Yukon Bob video. Thanks very much for coming along on this last week of sailing with trade winds on board their 70-foot flagship called Alethea, sailing clockwise around the island of Antigua. We'll be back with another video. Just before we go, we want to say thanks to our crew on board, to Joanne, who is our captain on board, to Serena, who is our chef, first mate extraordinaire, and to Richard, who is the dive master and helped out in lots of different ways over the past week. We've had a great week with our passengers and the crew, and we'll be back to Antigua another day, another time, and we shall see you then. Till then, take care. We'll see you on the next Yukon Bob video.